reports.
In recent weeks, the Queensland Government has given itself the power to bypass the courts and jail serial sex offenders indefinitely. It's also launched an unprecedented crackdown on bikie-related crime that includes lengthy mandatory sentences in a bikies-only prison. Tony Fitzgerald headed the landmark inquiry into corruption in Queensland in the late 1980s. He's penned a scathing newspaper editorial outlining his concerns with the new laws. He says it's incomprehensible that any rational Queenslander, even remotely aware of the state's recent history, could consider reintroducing political interference into the administration of criminal justice. Gary Crook was one of the lawyers who helped to expose the widespread corruption in Queensland for the Fitzgerald inquiry. He says the recent legislative moves are reminiscent of those times.
It's a frightening harking back to those sad, bad days. The underlying premises of the introduction of this smacks of the very deep-rooted problems that were so vividly brought to light in the Fitzgerald inquiry.
Gary Crook describes the anti-bikie laws as frightening and compares them to the measures imposed by Hitler in Nazi Germany.
To my mind, this notion of absolutely draconian punishment for these people will go down in history in more rational times as a parallel to people that were sent to Australia from England for stealing a slice of bread. Or perish the thought. The things that happen in totalitarian countries where those that disagree with the government are sent to concentration camps and the like.
Since the laws were introduced, Queensland's police union has revealed officers who question the new anti-bikie measures have been told to quit their position. Gary Crook says Queensland has experienced that sort of situation before.
The police force became the tool of the government, and they were constrained to do things that the government wanted, however dodgy or however draconian it might have been. And in return, they were effectively granted immunity from any scrutiny. The thin blue line was brought very much into focus to say, well, if we didn't have this police force, people would rape you and rob your house and all that sort of thing. And it skewed everything. There wasn't the independence, the duty of the constable. That was completely unknown in the same way as the separation of powers was completely unknown. And it looks as though it's now been reduced to some American thing when it stands at the very hub of our democracy. All this sort of thing is so frightening, and why does it only happen in Queensland? Why?
In his editorial, Tony Fitzgerald writes laws which erode individual freedom and expand a state's power over its citizens are fraught with peril. He continues, although free societies provide opportunities which criminals can exploit, in totalitarian states, the worst criminals are commonly those in power. Gary Crook again.
A, draconian punishments have not been proved to be the solution to a problem, and B, they are the hallmark of a totalitarian government.
Queensland's Attorney-General Jared Blake continues to defend the state government's legislative agenda.
Mr Fitzgerald's entitled to his opinion. We're getting on with the job. We're doing what Queenslanders elected us to do 18 months ago, and that's to restore the balance of justice in Queensland and get the balance of scales right.
Gary Crook is also outraged about the Premier Campbell Newman's personal attack on the judiciary. Last week, Mr Newman said that judges should come down from their ivory towers and make decisions in line with community expectations. But Mr Blake says the state government is simply meeting community expectations.
We're not interested in name-calling. We're interested in doing what Queenslanders elected us to do. That's to have a strong government with a strong commitment to get tough on law and order in this state and to, of course, put the victims first.
That's Queensland's Attorney-General Jared Blake ending that report from Stephanie Smale in Brisbane.
There you go. It's official. The people who were assisting Commissioner Fitzgerald in the Fitzgerald inquiry into the Queensland, the state of corruption, under Joe Bjelke-Petersen, they describe the existing, current, recent Queensland changes to the law as being reminiscent of Nazi Germany. So I was not exaggerating. I was merely telling you the truth. A week earlier than the ABC got around to realising it. Warbles on lot to YouTube. Ciao.